Oh, and we're live tonight, and welcome to my whiskey den. Tonight we have Mike Lissick with us, as always, from Kansas.
Cheers.
Hold on, let me get something here. I'll cheers you to that. We got to start a drink going. Cheers. He's from Kansas City, and today we are going to be reviewing two whiskeys from 45th Parallel Distilling. That is in New Richmond, Wisconsin. Founder... Oh, sorry, I should pop this one up here. 45th Parallel Distilling in New Richmond, Wisconsin. That is the northwest side of the state, closer over by Minneapolis, actually. That's why one of them we're reviewing is the Border Bourbon. Kind of resembles the name from that one. And the other one is the W Wisconsin Wheat. So, since I am the Rambler, we're going to start on this. The owner-founder of the distillery is Paul Werney. He was a native of Wisconsin, went to Minnesota for college, got done, co-owned a landscaping company in Minneapolis, and about 2004, he thought about opening a distillery, but he enlisted the help from his college roommate, Scott Davis, and his father, Paul Sr., and over the next 3 years, they worked on it, and they opened in 2007. When they opened, there was about 50 craft distilleries at that time in the U.S. Now there's about 1,600, so a little bit of a jump there. The distillery since then itself has doubled in size and in production. The name 45th Parallel came because they are halfway in between the equator and the North Pole, dead center. And so is the farm that a lot of the stuff is raised on. Give me a second here. Excuse me. Good evening, Arthur. Good to see you here. Thanks for stopping in. So they use a pot still, not the column still. They only use a pot still with a swollen neck on it, so a little bit wider neck. They use air-dried barrels. I'm going to cheers to that. I love that. Air-dried barrels are fantastic. Good job on that one. And originally when they first started, they did a lot of contract distilling, and they do contract distilling for J. Henry and Sons and other people. This allowed them to let the whiskeys age to about 3 to 4 years before they started releasing them, instead of having to try to push things or rush things to market. Now they do have vodka and a gin and I think a limoncello out there as well too, but that just gave them the capital to not be as panicky as some other distilleries right away. And I got a chance earlier today to talk to Anton Werney, son of Paul. He's been a part of the business, obviously, his whole life since it started. When he got done with college, he has now stepped into a sales kind of rep position, and he was very helpful today. When we, obviously, most of you noticed we don't have Benjamin today. He had a family issue, so he wasn't able to join us tonight, and Anton stepped in with some information on a quick niche there and kind of helped us out. So we appreciate that. They are obviously grained glass, like so many of the craft distilleries we look at. Ooh, excuse me, but they use who was it? Arlen Straight. Sorry, yes, it looks like Straight Farms. It was Russmar Farms. Arlene Straight was the actual farmer that is doing a lot of the farm work for him. They weren't using him originally. They were working with a couple different millwrights at the time when they needed to go up in production size. And they talked to the two, like a millwright that they had, and they said, go to him. He's going to do a very good job of it. Once they went to him, they also kind of talked him into doing some of the actual growing for him, because the millwork and the John Deere sales rep from the area said that he was the most consistent farmer and also the most honest farmer. So, I mean, that's hard not to turn down. And it only took him 2 tries. First time he got turned down, second time he asked, and it got turned over, and they said yes to doing it. So that was actually kind of neat. They let's jump in here to. I say let's go to the wheat because the grains are all, like I said, local, and they are mostly within like an 8-mile radius of the actual distillery as well. But the wheat, I gotta jump back. All the banners and comments. I went back to see stuff. The wheat, or the W, is 48% alcohol by volume, 67% wheat, which is a German wheat that they use because it is a little more expensive, but bakers and distillers like it because it brings out more flavor in it rather than just the average wheat. Then corn and malted barley finish off the rest of this one. Mike, I'm going to switch over to you because I talked for a couple minutes, so I think it's fair you get to give a nose and see what you're smelling there first.
The biggest thing that I started making notes earlier on this was it's fresh wheat, but it's not dirty, dusty wheat. It's like a fresh wheat and bread, homemade bread, fresh out of the oven. Mm-hmm. A little bit of chocolate and some cherry. There's a little bit of grassiness, maybe.
When you were mentioning the wheat and not the dusty wheat, I was smelling like a wheat field. Like just kind of like being out in the field where it's not ready to harvest yet, but you're still getting that kind of enveloped around you. Definitely the bread, the wheat bread you were talking about for sure. Yeah, you hit that along with a lot of that there. A little light chocolate.
Yeah.
A little cherry note in there.
When you're talking about them, their contract work, that's one thing I thought was really interesting is the fact that they're doing so well with the contract work that they can take their time and do whatever they want to with their own stuff, as opposed to, we got to go out. It's got to be 2 year because that's what we can do. And that's a really good position for somebody like that to be in because they're not that old. So they're doing things right if they are contracting for other people. Or people buy a ton of their gin and vodka, maybe both.
It was a little bit of both, but I know they I think on the Border Bourbon bottle it says it was originally founded by 2 Wisconsin distillers and 2 Minnesota distillers. So there was kind of a collaboration with there as well too. But Paul's the owner, so we give him a little bit of credit because probably has the most skin in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's I get more of the rye bread.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm huffing this pretty good, and I'm not getting much alcohol on it. I'm just kind of going in there trying to get a lot of the notes, and it's not a problem to get a good inhale on this compared to a couple other things we had recently.
No, and it's 48%.
Yep, 48% is what this one is.
Okay, I get this really, hitting this thing going back and forth. It's kind of a specific note, but this is banana bread that you made yesterday. It's like it's not out of the oven. It's had time to sit. It's had time to off gas a little bit.
I almost like that better. Technically with banana bread, I like that next day, not the first day where it gets a chance to get like a little bit more of the moisture in it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's got a nice, very nice nose to it. It's not. I mean, it's like, okay, yeah, I get that it's a wheated whiskey, but you don't really think it's as much wheat because this is
67% wheat.
Yeah, that's high.
Yeah, I know that's pretty high for what it is, and that's. I think the next thing you don't get the corn as much.
No,
the malted barley I'd say is obviously the next thing coming in there because you are getting a little bit of that richness note from that.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into some tastes.
Yeah.
Okay, that was funny because I went back and forth before we started, and now that I went back again this time, I do get a little bit of. It's got to be the type of wheat, because I was almost thinking a little bit of a rye to it, but it's got to be a little bit of the wheat in there.
I'm getting kind of a. I don't mean it sound bad, but kind of a syrupy citrus. real quick on it.
Okay, I can see that at the beginning.
But then I got some chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And I'm getting a chocolate, but like I'm still getting some spice.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a little barrel note, but I'm gonna, after having that Douglas and Todd and noticing that there was no rye in that, it was more of the type of wheat. It was a red winter wheat they were using. I thought that was starting to play a little factor in there as well, there too. But this one, sorry, I don't mean to be looking down, but I was trying to figure that out there for a second.
Yeah, just I was trying to figure that spice out too. It doesn't feel like barrel notes.
No, and it is oily, but it's not bad. It actually pulls away pretty fast.
Yeah.
So it's not like heavy with that at all. But yeah, the note in the middle, like not as much of the rye bread in my mind as what you were getting on the nose.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's more of a punch flavor in the middle, and I get like give me a second.
You know how you always talk about, oh, you wonder what this would be like at, 5 or 10 more proof points higher or even higher. But I tell you what, if this thing was more viscous, I think this would not leave your palate.
No.
And it's not, I mean, it would just be this just nice flavor that would just be there. Almost like you had something buttery, where it lingers around there and the butter carries the flavor with it.
And when you mentioned before you got on here that you were drinking Lestau, and I had a drink of this, and I started getting like the butter, like a little bit of butter flavor, and I get kind of a little bit of that mouthfeel, but I'm getting the chocolate, a little cherry, and I think it's more of like a white pepper than a black pepper.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm. It's not as rich as a black pepper, but it's in there for a second where it jumps up about, say, a third to almost to a quarter to the end. That picks up in the middle there for flavor wise, and then kind of fades out. Oil kind of pulls away, but you still get left with like this kind of light dark chocolate flavor on the second half of it. So
I'm going to try a dash of water.
See what happens. I got one of those too. Give me a second here. I'm doing the unscientific version.
I'm to the scientific finger drip.
Yeah, oddly enough, that's what I was doing too. I'm like, I'm too far away from everything that's important now to grab that.
You use the tools that you have.
Definitely. That lightens up the nose a bit.
Yeah, it does. A little grassier.
A little grassier. I almost get a hint of citrus on the nose now. It's almost more like a milk chocolate now than a dark chocolate. But I still get that spice, but it's not as heavy.
No, it knocked the spice and the pepper back pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like it better without the water.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's nice. I've had really good and really bad experiences with wheaters. That's a pretty good experience.
Yeah, it's not overly aggressive, but it's actually, I think it's got more flavor than some other wheats I've had.
Totally agree.
Like some of the other ones are more just, they're trying to be like this mellow. I mean, even let's take Pappy. I was going to say it's this kind of mid-range mellow the whole way through, which is nice, but there's not in my mind, a big punch of flavor at any point through it. But no, I found that I like that quite a bit actually.
Yeah,
and I really enjoyed the nose. I thought that the wheat bread, almost banana bread.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, but it's neat because it's not you're not getting what's on the nose as actually on the inside of the drink once you actually get a taste of it. So it's a pretty decent difference.
Yeah. Nice whiskey.
I'm just finishing it because I like to finish things.
Oh yeah.
But
I am doing since we're doing 2 whiskeys, I have already put 2 of them equal amounts in a separate glass. So
you've been marinating some already, you cheater. That's okay.
Well, I haven't tried it yet.
That is. And the other thing before we go on to the next one, I'm going to hold up the bottle. Oops. This one is the Border Bourbon, which we're switching to. They do obviously a big wax on the whole top of it, and they got a little thing to pull it off. It's a heavy, hard thing to pull off. They got a nice, let me spin it this way, a little piece of just leather flair on it. That's how actually I got it. I am a sucker for marketing. And when I first saw it, I was like, I like how it's covered up. It's really thick in the wax. I'm like, and I love the leather flair. I'm like, if nothing else, you could do something with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not something you see too often like that. So I would
make a watch band for the kid.
Kind of. And I was going to say, and actually, you probably can't tell with this on the wheat one, it's a little bit lighter. The other one's a darker leather. Yeah. This one's a little bit lighter leather. So they do a little bit different for each one. So
I feel like I should have worn some leather tonight for the.
Yeah, and seeing it almost makes you feel like you should be tasting some leather. Like I'm off.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no leather, absolutely no leather so far on the palate.
Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna switch over to the Border Bourbon now, and this one is 46.45% ABV, 62% corn on this one, so decently high corn, and then equal parts rye, wheat, and malted barley. After that, they split up the last 38% evenly. Oh, let's get that off of there for a second.
I don't find it real corn heavy on the nose for as much corn's in it either.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing on that, because we're at 62%. Sometimes when you're just getting that blank 51, you're almost getting that super sugary kind of corn heavy.
It's there. I mean, when I get in there, it's there. You can find the corn, but it's not for as much corn as in it. You would think, you think you're got some mellow corn in your glass.
Oh, and Arthur, we can arrange that for you. He's mentioning how he's on dry week this week, which is good. If ever you don't know what it is, a lot of us are part of the whiskey tribe, and every once a quarter they'll do a dry week, kind of just as like a self intake of where you're at. Make sure you're not kind of going overboard, because once you do start getting excited about whiskey, if you haven't been before, you can go from maybe a whiskey a week to having like 3 or 4 a night, and because you're starting to compare and contrast and getting kind of excited about it, you want to keep yourself in check. So we do support that as well too. Just make sure you're not going overboard and kind of stay in the rails of things. Don't go too crazy. And that's a good way to notice if maybe you are starting to have an issue. You mean get to Wednesday, Thursday, and you got this itch. It's maybe time to take a look at it. But back to the Border Bourbon. It's not my dry week, so
sorry, Arthur.
It's not my dry week.
Sucks to be you, man.
Yeah, but not corn heavy. It's almost like faint on the corn in this one. Almost like not the same type of corn, but almost maybe the same level of corn I was getting off of the wheat one.
Yeah, a little vanilla and cherry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, on this one, I'm getting like a dusty, maybe like a little leather, a light leather, just subliminal messaging. I told me how to talk myself into it, but a little leather, but it's almost like it's got like a candy coating to it, like a little, like you're not smelling the corn, but it's like almost like a sugary smell around the outside of it.
Yeah, the sugary smell I was getting in there and trying to figure out what it was. And especially if I just kind of run it across, it's like sweet tea.
Sweet tea. I've had other people I know talk about it being like oh, you guys aren't from Australia. I was gonna say fairy floss, but cotton candy, same thing. Yeah, like a little bit of the, not like a flavored version, but like
Right.
when you ever been there pouring the mix in and kind of starting them up on just the white stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that in there. I'm getting I got a little pine note there on that round too.
Huh.
Little chocolate, not heavy. There's a
No.
lot of you can come back to. This is another one where it's not at 48%. It's not a heavy. Like you can get back in there and go a couple times on the nose, pretty heavy, and see what you can find out. So
Yeah.
not overpowering on the alcohol or ethanol or anything like that. And a bit of cherry in this one too. Wondering if that's the malted, the rye. No, I don't know. Could be the corn because there is corn in both of them. You can go on with your taste there. I'll catch up here. Give me a second.
I don't want to say anything until you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was weird. So the first thing I get is a toasted oak, like a light toast
On the very front, like right away.
Yeah, yeah, and nice, like just this really soft toasted oak.
Almost like like a baked nut that you do like around Christmas. You do like a roasted nut almost, but like you said, it's oak, but like a roasted nut.
Yeah, I was thinking like a very light roast coffee or light roast, something that's not broken down, like a light roasted nut or light roasted coffee bean or something.
I see how you could lean into the coffee after that with a couple of the other flavors that come up. It's a little bit darker, a little bit richer.
That's nice. I'm gonna have to try that with a little bit of water.
The rye is not very spicy. I think the wheat has more spice to it than what this is by far.
Yeah. It's sweeter than the wheat, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
My scientific dropper. I know where I've been. I'm okay.
Three finger drops.
That's right. As long as it's my finger.
The finish on this is pretty quick. Like it's more, and it's weird because it's more on the front of my tongue than it is on the back of my tongue where it's lingering.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Yeah, everything stayed in the front. And I was swishing it around a little bit. Oh, wow. Okay. So that I get more vanilla and cherry on the nose with the water in it.
I haven't put water in mine, but I still get a little bit of caramel in it. Like you said, a light vanilla. I always forget to add some of the base flavors in, but let's try that. Wow, even just 3 drops lightens up the nose. So I'm happy they kept this at 48%. I mean, I'm not saying that the flavors can be different, but the nose lightened up quite a bit with just a couple drops in what I have left. So I guess that's enough to make a little effect.
All right, I'm curious what you think about the palate with the water in it. I try to swish it around a little bit.
You do not get the toasted barrel thing right away. That like almost fades away completely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's there, but it's like almost where the barrel, like the toasted nut barrel note, like right away was like big and on the front half of the tongue. This only catches like a quarter second later, almost to where it was gone before. Like it pops up just for a split second, and it is nowhere near as powerful.
No, but it, and I know that there's something about with whatever's how they made it, what's in it, adding a little water, how it can separate and change it. But it felt more viscous with a couple of drops of water, like it had separated it enough that what was left was a little bit of oil on my tongue.
And I'm getting
but it's still not going back. It's still staying in front, which is weird. It's like I'm trying to get it's not.
I know, like I'm gonna like tilt back here and kind of hold it there for a second. But yeah, and I get a little more pepper note now that I added water. Like the pepper came up a little more stronger now that there was water added in. Light chocolate, some cherry in there as well too. That's It
is definitely okay. So with that water in it, it's like the oiliness stays up front, and all the thinner stuff goes back, but it just disappears and goes away.
Yeah, like it literally. Hold on, I'm gonna just hold it back there.
I'm gonna force it.
Mm-hmm. No, I can't. I sat back forward.
Get back there.
Yeah, I had it back there, and as soon as I rolled forward, like it came forward, and I swallowed. It's still on the front 2/3 of my tongue, and the back half usually is clung to. Like it's light, like it's sticking there longer than before, but it is like light and gone.
Yeah,
and it's like up in the front half that all the mouthfeel is happening right now.
Yeah, and it's not bad.
No, it's just like reverse, and it's freaking me out. You know,
frustrating.
Do
what I want you to do.
Yeah, like this is the way I'm accustomed to it. It's almost like it's focusing on different taste buds.
Yeah, but no matter what, it's like the bulk of it will not go back.
No, but and on the front half right now, it is sticking around a decent amount of time. But it
feels nice. Got a really very nice feel to it.
It's got now it's a little bit of chocolate tobacco. I'm getting like a little light mint just on the aftertaste as I'm breathing more. That is, I'm going back to a little full strength just to see.
Yeah, this I would, what's this, 46.45?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see this higher proof because it's bourbon, and I like a higher proof bourbon.
As most of us do, except for one time on this channel.
But just to see what it would be like, and try it out, and I wonder what that would do with the flavor. But I like this.
Yeah, and I had some, and then I sent out samples. Oh, sorry, I was going reverse. We're on the small screens tonight. So this has been sitting for a couple weeks, getting a little bit more oxidation in it. Now after experimenting, I'm smelling a bit more of the rye on the nose, like I normally do, where I can pick out that black licorice smell. There's a little bit in it, but kind of like the nut. Like I said, the nut on the flavor it's kind of wrapped over by that corn, but it's not aggressively wrapped over. It's where the corn can be super sweet. This is just like a coating of it, on top.
Yeah. But
yeah, what's there of the rye that the black licorice is gone when on the palate. Like it's there for a hint of a second, but not enough for me to even care. Those of us just started watching black licorice, and I don't get along. We just don't. We're not friends. It's just true. Now I know that you poured one of these already, so
yeah. And it's not afterwards. So I've had a couple of my glasses full of water too afterwards, and trying to clean my palate and stuff. But there's like an overall still an oiliness on my tongue.
Yeah, especially after the bourbon.
Yeah,
that front half still has something going on. I'm getting, even now after I take a drink, I'm still getting like a little light chocolate, like a light tobacco leaf to it.
Yeah.
And it's faint, but it's not leaving.
No, and it's not overpowering or anything. It's just.
I'd say it's not leaving. Power wise, set that aside, but not leaving wise, it's kind of like the first time I had Talisker Storm. Like that did not leave my mouth.
Yeah.
And this isn't leaving either, but We're gonna have to come back to this again because it is really just on the front 2/3 of my tongue, and I can't peg this, and it's got me really, really trying to figure that out.
It's frustrating.
It is. It's not frustrating. It's just like I feel like I killed the back. Like I ate some ribs, and I feel like the sauce killed the back half of my tongue or something. So I'm glad you're getting it too.
Yeah, you burnt yourself.
All right, but I don't know. I call that pretty decent for this evening. We got a little blend, so we'll talk about the blend for a second because I know you did that earlier. Ooh, I'm getting more of the rye spice on my blend.
Yeah. Yeah, so say that it feels like the wheat took over the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Or the wheat whiskey, not the wheat itself.
Yeah, the wheat whiskey. I guess the corn, I'm getting the sweetness out of it for sure. But the wheat is definitely winning.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a sugary sweetness to the nose.
I'm getting more of more of an actual caramel out of it this time on the nose. And the cherry is stronger on the nose between them. I'm wondering if was between them the malted barley and the corn.
Yeah, a lot more of a candied.
Yeah, candied. No, and not like the Caval rye we had candied. No,
No,
that was not bad, but that was a definitely dessert whiskey, like you said.
100% dessert whiskey. Yeah, not yeah.
But I'm getting like the cherry or another dark fruit note out of this now that they're kind of combined. A little bit of bread still in it, but it's not the wheat bread like it was before.
Yeah, a little. Yeah, the reminds me. The nose reminds me of kind of faint of a cobbler.
Yeah, I get you like that. That is a really good idea. Like where it's got like a candied something underneath it and a little baked crust on the top of it,
and the fruit and all the syrup and stuff.
Yeah, I'm even getting a little bit of apple more now. This is screwing me up. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. I like this combo, this creation better than the last one we had where it was all put together.
Glass of diabetes.
Yeah, that other one was when we put them all together. Like I've had too much. I had that. I shouldn't have poured that second one on that. That was bad. Major sugar letdown. Hey, my bourbon journey's on. Cheers, Scott. Hey, Scott. Nice to say thanks for stopping in. We're kind of at the tail end right now. We kind of mixed the wheat and the border together. Kind of going after that, seeing what happens. Always fun to play with it for a bit.
Yeah. Scott, you're going to be at Distill America, right?
Okay, there's a little more. It's a little more heat in this. The combo of it. Still more like that white pepper. That's awesome. We'll be happy to see you. I'm not getting there, I don't think, till Saturday. I think you're getting there on Friday, Mike?
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. Okay, we'll both be there on Saturday morning. So.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Completely different than the two of them on their own.
Yeah.
The combo is its own beast.
Yeah, it's not like you can pick out the best or worst of one and the other. It is a completely separate thing. And I get a completely different. What is this on my palate? And you know what's irritating? It's more towards the back, sort of the mid tongue.
Yeah, it's not as much the front. Like on the bourbon was the front 2/3, and the wheat was like the back half. This is like dead center. This is where stuff's sticking around. Oh, we're gonna play with this another night. Just because I have to see if the tongue feels the same way that time.
I think actually, when I was trying the wheat earlier, thought, well, I wonder how this would do with throwing a splash of Stag Junior on that wheat, just to give it a punch.
It could do all right that way. On the mix, the chocolate, the cherries come out a little bit more for me. The white pepper is the mid range where it kind of pops up, which is it was from the wheat side of it. Yeah, I do ramble sometimes, especially at the beginning. You missed me at the beginning, Arthur. Or no, you didn't. I thought that was Scott that said it. Yeah, I ramble at the beginning of videos. Towards the tail end, we slow down a little bit. I'm pouring one more, Mike. I think we're gonna call our quits on the 2 reviews we did on this one. I did speak to Anton, I think sometime in April, early May. We'll probably have him on for an episode, talk a little bit more in depth, and probably try the new Richmond rye at that point. Patrick Fulmer, hey, thanks for stopping in. We're always happy to see another Patrick in the chat. I don't know if it was Whiskey Crusaders the one night. I think there was 4 of us, but that's always exciting when that happens. But I think at the end of this video, we're gonna cheers Inez Evans. It's kind of the reason, unfortunately, Ben's not with us tonight. His grandma's in the hospital. So I think we'll give her a cheers. Hope she gets better, gets out faster, and kind of heals up pretty quick, because that's never fun to have to deal with something like that. So, yeah, I do like them both, but I'm gonna say the Border Bourbon, how it was only sticking around on the front 2/3 of my tongue, was pretty interesting, because normally it sucks to the back end of your tongue. So I'm gonna give that the nod this evening between them.
Yeah.
And probably only because of that, because I think the wheat with the white pepper spice I was getting was pretty unique.
Yeah.
And like I said, I got a little bit of that from Douglas and Todd, so I kind of figured that's where it was coming from. But
I think I have to do a poll at Distill America and stand around everyone who tries their whiskey and say, all right, where'd it go on your tongue?
we can do that. Someone can have like a little notepad and be like, check.
Line everybody up. Front tonguers are over here. Medium tonguers are here. There's nobody for the back of the tongue, because it doesn't go there.
It doesn't happen. It's just it's weird like that. But yeah, we can do a poll like that. We have enough people going that someone can stand there and take a poll for like 30-40 minutes maybe. I can do it as long as someone brings me samples from other places in the meantime, so I can try other stuff.
Who are those guys asking everyone about their tongue?
But yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, guys, thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. Next Monday, we're not sure what we're doing yet. We had a different plan. We're gonna kind of switch that up. So we'll probably just do a simple review next Monday. Pretty soon though, probably after Distill America, we're gonna do 100 subscribers stream. We passed that recently. We got to have our finally name on the back end of the YouTube. And during that, we're gonna, at least for part of it, I know we're gonna spin the wheel at least 3 times for people who are subscribers either on Facebook or on YouTube. And if your name pops up on the little wheel, we'll send you guys a set of samples. I'm gonna at least send one. Mike's gonna send one. Ben's gonna send some that he has. So hopefully you guys get to try some different stuff from each of us. That's part of it. We're still working. Ben's all in the right. Everyone's in the right mindset for when we're doing that. You can't be celebrating when people aren't in the right spot. So yeah. Cheers to everyone out there. Y'all have a good evening. Remember, it's not the size of it's weird with this half screen. I can't get my hands on the inside. Remember, it's not the size of the den that matters. It's the love of the whiskey. Cheers, everyone. Have a good night.
Cheers.